Welcome back to the Outreach Project family in 2024. This is Josh.
This is Zach.
We are joined with
Reece.
Hello, Reece.
Hello.
Welcome to our first 2024 episode.
It's an honor. Thank you.
Yeah, so we are blessed to have you here, but we do need to, take a moment to maybe explain ourselves.
The elephant in the room.
It has been a while, and not too long, but we had Aaron. That was wonderful. Thank you, Aaron, if you're listening. If not, I don't doubt it. But thank you for coming. But then it got busy. Holidays came up. Christmas was a big one. New Year's came up. I got a new job then. I went to Passion. And now we're here. We're rolling. It's January 30th. So
January 30th.
So, yeah, that's kind of a little where we've been. Zach, you have anything to share?
No, just good Christmas. Been a while since we've been in here, but it's really good to be back and get to talk to some people again.
Yeah, and I am probably the busiest I've ever been in life now, but we are going to hit this podcast hard. We're going to get rolling. We got Reece on. We're excited for that. I really wish I could say we had people scheduled, but Brody, answer your text, dude.
I can reach out to him too.
We've had people reach.
Okay.
Anyways, but we do have a game plan. We're rolling, and we're about to talk with Reece. So Reece, how are you today?
Doing pretty good. Yeah, it's a pretty good day.
Yeah. What do you do for work? Like, what'd you do today?
So I am a physical therapist. So I was working at the clinic today. Only 7 to 1, so a little bit shorter hours. I work at Indiana Physical Therapy. Yeah, as a physical therapist at an outpatient clinic. So all my patients come into the clinic, they get treated, and then they go home.
What's your least favorite part of therapy?
Documentation. Yep. I guess of the work in general. Yeah,
Okay.
Documentation.
What about, like, least favorite muscle group or part to work on?
It kind of varies. Yeah. Backs can be hard. Back pain, because you got a lot of people who can have chronic back pain. That can just be challenging to work with. Sometimes those joints that move in multiple planes, I guess, like shoulders and hips can sometimes be a little tricky. So they can move more, so more things can kind of go wrong with them. But
And we just went paintballing.
we did, yep.
Yeah. How was your time paintballing with us and a bigger group of dudes?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was really fun. It was cold. It was so cold. Yeah.
Yeah.
My hand, I think my left hand then holding the gun, the first round that we did, was frozen. It froze to the gun.
Did you wear a glove?
I did. I had 2 gloves on.
Oh.
And it was, the rest of the day was fine. It was just that first game.
Yeah.
Didn't I shoot you in the hand at one point too?
Yes, you did. Later. Although I think I also shot you in the face early on, too.
First round, you shot me right in the middle of the face.
Except you would have wrecked me.
Is there a photo of that?
No, I got it wiped off. I mean, there's photo with
We'll throw up some funny photos of our paintball journey.
all 3 of them.
Yeah.
But shout out Dave for having some of us out here. He does a really good job of loving his friends well. It was his birthday, so we went out and ripped some outdoor paintball the weekend.
In January.
Yeah, the weekend
That's
after
right,
of insane low temperatures. So
Yeah, it was 5 the whole week, and then we go paintballing on Saturday.
what was the place? White River?
I think it was White River. Yeah, in Anderson. Yeah.
Shout out White River.
There we go.
Yeah, we're not sponsored, but that place is awesome.
It was pretty fun.
It'll be more fun maybe in the summer when the guns are working and
We'll
all
be
that
back.
stuff. Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, let's jump on in. This is Reece, but kind of where'd you come from?
Yeah. So I'm not from Columbia City.
Yeah.
I grew up in Greenwood, Indiana. That's just south of Indy, about 20 minutes, half hour south of Indy. So, yeah, grew up there.
Born and raised?
Born and raised
Okay.
there. Yep, first 18, 19 years of my life. So
Siblings?
one older sister. Yep, her name's Becca. She lives in Holland, Michigan. So she's a nurse up there. So she's married and has a couple
Will she be
daughters.
listening?
No. I'll maybe send her the episode or something, but yeah. Not a regular listener.
No, that's okay. Yeah.
But yeah, so grew up there. Yeah, and then moved up to Fort Wayne in the middle of undergrad. So I went to undergrad at Taylor University. And then...
And you drove to Taylor every day?
No, I lived at Taylor, though. Yeah,
Okay.
so my family moved up to Fort Wayne. Yeah, my sophomore year of Taylor. But yeah, actually, like, growing up, though, it was Greenwood, Indiana. So, yep, was involved in just a lot of things growing up. School always came, I'd say, pretty naturally to me. Was always in sports, baseball, football, for the most part. Ultimate Frisbee, actually in high school. Yeah, we had an actual club team, like Ultimate Frisbee team at Center Grove. So,
Were you good?
I like to think I was pretty good. So, our team was good. We won state a lot.
I
But
think Ryan Ward and you should have a little showdown.
I remember listening to that podcast. Yep,
We should get a church league going.
that would be fun. That would be really
You
fun.
think people would play?
I could see people playing. Yeah,
I
Yeah.
can't.
I could see there being some people. You don't think so? Would you not play?
I would not play, no.
Oh, gotcha.
Should we get a
gotcha.
church league going? I don't think people would play.
I don't know, man. I'm sure to...
Oh man.
But, anyways, let's...
What else? Yeah, sports. I was also a band nerd. I was in the marching band all through high school. Played trumpet. So that was fun.
That's the best instrument to play in band.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's super fun.
Yeah.
So and play loud and proud and yeah. But yeah, so involved in a lot of things growing up, and also outdoorsy things like hunting, four-wheeler. We have some land down in southern Indiana that our family would go to.
Okay.
So
And then
Yep.
your family moved up here when you were a sophomore.
yep.
Where did you move after college?
So after undergrad, I took a gap year between undergrad and PT school, and lived in Fort Wayne just with my parents. So, and during that time, I went to Emmanuel Church over there, and just kind of hung out in my gap year until PT school, and then lived in Lawrence, Indiana. It's like northeast side of Indy.
Okay.
Yep, just a little town up there. Lawrence North, Lawrence Central, high schools are up there. PT school for 3 years, and then moved to Columbia City in 2021.
Where was PT school?
IU. IUPY, but IU
Okay.
degree.
And then why'd you decide to come to Columbia City after PT school?
So before, I guess during my gap year, I worked for Indiana Physical Therapy as sort of a clinic assistant, sort of their tech. So I would clean tables, I would help patients with some exercises, give them ice, check them in, different things like that. And I did that for 8 months in my gap year. And then during that time, they said, hey, you're going to PT school. Would you like to sign a contract? So that will help pay for some of your school.
Yeah.
And yeah, exactly. So, but the thing is, I had to commit a few years then to work for them. But I was, yeah, for sure. I went, oh, you're helping pay for school. We'll go for it. So I signed off, like essentially signed away 7 years of my life. Like already knew what I was doing for the next 7 years. So, but then, so fast forward, I went through PT school. And then IPT, Indiana Physical Therapy, was going to give me the choice of clinics to work at. And my first choice was actually Warsaw. So I went and shadowed the Warsaw clinic, which was fine. It doesn't have any windows in it, which is kind of a dungeon. So I was thinking, I don't know about this clinic as much. And then just randomly, Columbia City, the clinic just opens up. They say, hey, we have an opening here. Someone was just leaving. Would you be interested in starting in Columbia City? And then I said, sure. Like I've driven through, I've seen the Super Andy sign and stuff before. So, yeah. So I knew nothing about Columbia City. I just knew it was a small town.
And they had windows?
And they have windows in the clinic. So that's a big plus. Because, yep, you can actually see the outside. You see 30, but.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that brought me here.
And
so.
do you live here now?
I do. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Live in Columbia City. So I got an apartment
here
then because I really wanted to live in the community that I worked in. Because during PT school, I was driving 30 minutes, 40 minutes to, I guess, work to school. And I did not want to do that. I wanted to max out maybe 20 minutes or so. So then I thought, hey, if I'm going to be working in Columbia City, I'm going to move to Columbia City. So got an apartment and, yeah, came here. And then this past summer, I bought a house then So that's
Congrats.
nice. But thank you.
That's
yeah.
fun.
Thank you.
What's been your biggest challenge and then favorite thing about owning a house?
Biggest challenge? Well, the HVAC went out a couple months ago, so getting that replaced was just frustrating. So, and expensive. But thankfully, was able to tackle that. I guess I like the quiet because being in the apartment, you could hear just all the neighbors. So, hear them playing video games, hear them having arguments, just all that stuff. One time, like the cops were called, and I'm like waking up at 2 a.m.
Did
and
you
then
live in our building?
no, I don't think so.
I'm just
Do you guys have a lot of yelling arguments?
We are the ones that are yelling and playing video games.
Gotcha. Well, those were separate, thankfully. The one guy, I had a chill neighbor who was playing video games, and he would just yell for that. I had downstairs neighbors who would just be yelling at each other. And that was not fun. So, and then I also just heard other noises I just did not want to hear in apartments. So,
Fun.
so then I got to the house, and I was like, oh, this is so nice. So
I don't have to hear other people living.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. The apartments were, I mean, overall, they were really nice, though.
Yeah.
They were the ones kind of near Eagle Glen then. Those newer-ish apartments. Yeah.
Quail Ridge.
Yeah, Quail Ridge.
Quail
Yeah.
Ridge.
Yep.
Shout out.
That's right. Shout out Quail Ridge. Good work.
An insane amount of shout outs this episode already.
Hey, man, that's what we do.
Yeah.
Who wants to? Do you want to shout out someone?
Maybe when I think of it, I guess.
Okay, just do it, man. You want to rip one?
I'm good.
All right.
I think you've got it covered for the episode.
All right, good.
But,
Yeah. So let's touch on maybe what you do now. I mean, obviously you're a physical therapist.
Yep.
What do you do when you get home? What do you do for fun? What do you enjoy?
yeah. So, I work decently long hours at the office.
7 to 1.
7 to 1 for today. But so our clinic's open 7 to 7.
Yeah.
So some days I'm working like 8 to 7.
Mhm.
And those just get to be long days. But come home, and I mean, that's maybe another kind of just difficulty having a house. There's a little bit more to take care of than just keeping up on chores and stuff, especially during the summer, then mowing and all that stuff. We're in an apartment, you don't have to worry about that then. And then like working out then too. So
Planet Fitness?
Planet Fitness, yep. Saw Zach there the other day.
Yep.
Shout out.
Go for it.
Well, that was Reese's shout out, man.
There we go, Planet Fitness, getting people fit.
But anyways, yeah.
Yep, so working out. More recently gotten into more cycling. I'd say since moving to Columbia City.
Like road cycling or
Yeah.
mountain?
More road
Okay.
cycling. Because I actually biked to work then because there was a shower at the Columbia City Clinic. So I would bike from my apartment down to the clinic and shower and then work and then bike back. Took about 15 minutes. So,
Is
yeah.
IPT's by the Oriental Buffet?
Yep, right next
Yep,
door.
Okay.
Yep. I like to say there's 4 different therapies in that strip. So you have physical therapy, which is, I mean, a pretty good therapy. You have the Chinese buffet, which I mean is kind of a food therapy. If you need food to help your woes or something.
If that's what you want to call it.
There's the nail salon, which can be a sort of therapy for people getting their nails did.
I guess. Okay.
And then the vape shop was there. So we got them all covered right there. Yeah, so it's in that strip. Yep.
Yeah.
But,
Okay. So we tried this a few times. We're gonna rapid fire some questions. I'm gonna go first. Zach's gonna go second, and we're gonna go every other. Maybe like 3-word max answers.
3-word
unless you
max.
really need to
Oh, man.
explain yourself. We'll let you know if you
okay.
do.
Uh-oh. Ready?
Favorite color?
Green.
Favorite movie?
Up.
Okay. Favorite food?
Watermelon.
Favorite song?
Ooh. The Once and Future Carpenter by the Ava Brothers. I'll just throw one out there.
Okay. Never heard it.
That was
Favorite
more than 3 words.
favorite board game?
Chess.
Favorite sport?
Ultimate.
Favorite sports team?
Colts.
Explain yourself.
I've been sad the past few years, but Colts.
I'm kidding. A few more.
Favorite college?
Yes, Taylor.
Favorite scent?
Scent.
That's a great question.
Ooh, I really like, part of the reason why I really like the color green. After a downpour and everything is like a little bit more of that rich, lush green, and you have that scent of like fresh rain that's like just been pouring all day. So I really like that scent.
It's a great answer.
Yeah. Or, so random fact, I used to work at a German meat market. That also smelled
Where?
really good. In Indianapolis. Yep.
What's a German meat market?
What's the difference in German meat and American meat?
Well, the owner, the boss, I guess, Klaus Moot.
That's German.
It's very German. He owns it. He's from Frankfurt, Germany. Shout out to Klaus's German Sausage and Meats. There you go.
We got our shout out.
I was not expecting that shout out. Is Klaus a listener?
No. Not at all. That was my first job in high school.
Okay.
We babysat his kid. So
That's neat.
and then I got to work there, and first time you walk in, you're like, oh man, like smelling all the meats. So, yeah. So.
What kind of meat do they carry?
Oh, just everything. Like all bratwurst sort of stuff, fresh meats, lunch meats, liverwurst, bloodwurst, you name it, they've pretty much got it.
Deer?
So, they process deer. Yep,
Yep.
that's where we usually get our deer processed. So.
You go down there to process them still?
Well, not this year. We usually have,
Okay.
but they're kind of out of the way now because no one lives in Greenwood anymore.
Yeah.
So
Klaus lost your business.
he,
but
sorry, Klaus.
he's not.
If
He's not
end
listening.
up listening.
All right, yeah, that was a fun little spur of the moment thing. We're gonna do that more often. So if listeners, if you have questions you want us to answer, that's a great time that we can ask them. But let's carry on into what you're involved in ministry wise. You're clearly, I guess if you're listening, you don't see him, but this is the piano player, Reece. So you do that. What else are you a part of? And also, how did you get into piano? That's two totally different questions. But
I guess so. Other things I'm involved in, I will sub for kids ministry whenever I'm not on stage. So second or third graders typically, just kind of when I'm free because I'm up on stage more.
yeah,
Besides that, though, I mean, being involved in small groups. Then we have a Wednesday night small group that I'm part of. And then there's a group of us guys that get together once a month, then too, that meet and go a little bit more in depth into some stuff too.
nice.
So I guess ministry-wise, that's
Yeah.
that's the main stuff.
Well, that's a solid chunk of time.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. And then piano-wise,
yeah,
then.
piano.
So I started taking lessons in first grade, I want to say. So that is one thing my mom forced my sister and I to do, is to take piano lessons at least 1 year.
Were they German?
No, not
Okay.
German piano lessons. Just regular American piano lessons.
Okay. So you have to clarify now.
That's true. Now we do. So
Just because he worked at a German meat market doesn't mean his whole upbringing was German.
Can you speak German?
no, I learned a few words just working there. The thing is, usually,
Like lamb chop and
like just how to say like bratwurst and weisswurst and like fünf and for a pound and stuff. Maybe I just butchered those, but but so a little bit. But the thing is, there's a lot of, I mean, obviously a German population would come in and get food.
yeah.
And it was usually the older German women who would see blonde hair and blue eyes and just immediately start rattling off German. I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. And I'd tell them I don't sprechen the Deutsch. And then they'd be like, oh, sorry. And then they'd order in English, and then they'd order in German again. I'd have to keep telling them I don't speak German. But yeah.
They just forget.
They just forgot. Just after, yeah.
Oh well.
No, but piano lessons.
yeah.
Yep. So I was forced to take 1 year. But I liked it, so I still took it then 1st through 5th grade, and it helped because our next door neighbor was my piano teacher.
Okay.
So I would just walk on over, and I'd practice for 10 minutes before my lesson because I'd forget to practice, and then walk over with it fresh in my mind. So I started then, and then I actually stopped playing all through middle school and high school, and some of college because I played trumpet then. So I switched to trumpet, and then did all the marching band stuff, pep band, all that stuff. And then in college, I took 3 semesters of piano lessons then. And that was actually really helpful for what I do now on stage because I learned a lot more chords and how to do like different types of chords and things like that. So.
Okay. Do you have a piano at home?
I do actually. Yeah.
Nice.
An actual I guess upright piano then. It just fits against one of the walls.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's really nice to have an actual piano because I was playing on a synth for a while.
In your apartment?
In the apartment, yeah. And then when I moved into the house, then I was able to get our family piano back. It was the piano I grew up playing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that it moved up to Fort Wayne with the family and was in storage at another family member, their house, and then got it when I got the house. So.
And you said your sister got lessons as well?
Yes. I think she only took 1 year. She wasn't as into it.
Oh, okay.
So, yep. So.
That's okay.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, did that, and then I didn't really play much through PT school then because PT school's busy, and I didn't have a piano. I did have the little synth, and then came here, and Holly had a shout out or a call out a year and a half ago or something for worship team members, and then I thought, hey, I play trumpet and piano, and I asked her, I told her my main instrument was trumpet, and she kind of shot that down fast and said, we've only used trumpet maybe twice in 9 years. So I went, well,
yeah, I don't know if it would work.
It wouldn't work as well, no. Unless there's maybe something special. So,
yeah.
We'll try it.
there we go.
The Trans-Siberian Orchestra, TSO.
Oh, yeah.
We can call them up, but I doubt they'll come.
Yeah, I know.
Nah, probably not.
My mom's a super fan of them, so
They're great.
maybe they'd come if she asked.
Has she seen them in concert?
Potentially.
Yeah, she's seen them a few times, and then I went with her last year, I want to say.
What'd you think?
It was cool.
That's pretty cool. They do a lot of light stuff. We've went once, but yeah.
I'm going to sound like a hater, but I'm not sure it was something like music, like sound-wise. I got different than I could on the CarPlay.
Oh, okay. Just on, yeah.
Yeah, but like visually, they had like some cool like guitar contests and sets and stuff. So that was the cool part that I thought. But let's get more into a little bit deeper. You mentioned growing up. Did you grow up in church or?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yep. Very thankful for that. So the first church I grew up going to until 3rd grade was a Methodist church in Greenwood somewhere. And then we switched to a non-denominational church called New Hope in Greenwood. But, at home, though, my parents are solid Christians, and it was really nice to have them, just how they raised me in that then, too. My mom would always pray with me before school, me and my sister before school every day, and just incorporating faith and, just faith, the Word, into our lives every day. Yeah. And then really blessed because each side of the extended family, everyone is believers then too. And I realize as I've just grown that that's not always the case for all families. So I've gone just really appreciating that then too. So grew up in the church, was really involved in student ministry stuff. So middle school, high school. At New Hope, we did what was called Stars Day Camp. So that was ran by high schoolers, but for 1st through 6th graders. So the high schoolers were leading. Yeah, I think back on it now and I go, how did I do that? But it worked. And we still had adults there who were leading, mainly leading stuff, but the high schoolers were mainly taking the lead in the classrooms and stuff. So did a little bit of kids ministry there too, like 2-year-olds, helping out with the 2-year-olds. We just mainly played with them and ate snacks with them. So
yeah, that's good. And then you went to Taylor, obviously, so that's a Christian school. What impact did that have on you?
It was really good. It was it helped me learn just deeper truths, I guess. I guess diving into my faith too, being surrounded by that solid Christian community where we could all grow deeper together. I wanted to go to a small Christian college.
Okay.
Originally, IWU, because my sister went there, but they didn't have an environmental science program, so then I went to Taylor. But I mean, either way, just really good Christian education, going through in-depth basics of New Testament, Old Testament, some apologetic stuff. Just really good environment.
Yeah, and I don't think people say even 10 years removed from college realize how do I want to say this, the culture difference between a Christian school and a public school. And yes, that impact is a whole lot more expensive.
It is.
And that's the downfall. But I've seen it with buddies around me then going to PFW. That's not a Christian school. Like, there's definitely a difference in just the way people treat one another, the curriculum taught even, and just the overall atmosphere there. So that is really neat if you do have the opportunity to attend something like that. And it's always neat to hear, I guess, how people have grown through it. Did you take any trips or anything?
No, I wasn't able to do any trips.
Okay.
It would have been cool to do.
Taylor offers those?
Oh, yeah. They usually do J-term trips and some spring break trips. But I was always just taking classes during those. Kind of like what you were saying, it's a different culture. When I was a freshman, one of the seniors on my floor, because at Taylor, you live with all different grades. So freshman through senior, every floor, which kind of helps with their community part. And he said, you didn't come to this college just for the literal education. You came for the community. You came for faith growth. You came for all these things. So he said, if you get B's and stuff, but you're still essentially growing overall, that's okay. You don't have to be that straight A student, but miss out on why you came to a Christian university too.
Yeah, because I may be totally wrong by this, but I would imagine aside from if you want to be in ministry, there's not an academic plus compared to some public schools that Christian universities have.
The academic side, unless they just have a really good
teaching program, for example.
Yeah.
Maybe. But if you want to go to be a doctor and you don't care about the faith aspect, you might as well go to
IU.
Oh,
IU,
financially
Purdue.
wise, for sure. Yep.
Yeah,
for financial stuff. I think of IWU is known for nursing.
Okay.
So then people might go to there. And then even Taylor is getting more known for their exercise science program. Or teaching, actually, is pretty big at Taylor, too.
So how do they incorporate, the faith part into actual, classes? Is it, evident in every class? Or is it, just you have, I have Old Testament class today? How does that work?
It's a little bit of both. So you do take Old Testament, New Testament, historical, Christianity, contemporary Christian education.
And those just kind of replace electives, too, that you would be taking bullcrap stuff at public school anyways.
It's liberal arts, too. So, I took British literature and things like that.
So you still took bullcrap?
That semester, I had one semester where I took pretty much no classes that I really cared about. And I just didn't care and passed, though. So did just enough to pass, and we were good. But then also, it was interesting because some teachers would incorporate prayer or a little devotion at the beginning of class or at the end of class, or bringing those concepts in.
And even the way they treat you, too, you probably notice a difference.
Yeah. I don't really have a ton to compare it to except PT school.
Okay.
And they were always kind to us at PT school, though, too. But there definitely wasn't that faith aspect, though, and PT school. So, but you also didn't take the classes you didn't want to take. you were actually taking all like PT focused classes. I wasn't taking British literature in PT school, so
That would suck.
that would be terrible.
Was that your least favorite college class?
No, there was this political science one. I had no idea what was going on. It was, so usually for like group projects and stuff, I try to do my best and help out and stuff. For this group project, for this class, I just let this one guy do all the work. Like, do not know what's going on.
Was
I
he
don't like it.
Wanted to be in politics?
Oh, yeah. So he didn't really care. I'm like,
Oh,
sure.
Go for it, bud.
He probably had the most outrageous thesis in that class and had no clue.
No clue.
To this day, he doesn't know.
No idea.
No, that's cool. And then, so you obviously grew in faith at Taylor. What year did you graduate?
Undergrad was 2017.
Okay, and then PT school?
2021.
Okay, so a few years removed from that now. 3. How have you grown since then?
I'd say definitely just deeper in my faith and like deeper into, I guess, different theological things, especially moving here to Columbia City, because I've been meeting with a mentor friend. His name's Rick. He's been actually shout out Rick.
He'll
shout out Rick.
He'll do that with you, yeah.
Yep. And diving into just in general deeper things in faith, and then meeting with that group of guys once a month too. We've been doing that for the past year or so. So I'm just growing there of different concepts. Like for that, we're growing in attributes of God and knowing what does it mean that He's righteous? What does it mean that He's holy? That He is love? Different things about the church. We're going through a book about conversion, about what does it actually mean to be disciples. We went through a series of servant leadership. Now, don't quiz me on all the concepts and stuff because I don't. I'd have to review stuff.
Yeah. But
So
you're familiar with it, and I don't know, you also grow on learning as well.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes any sense. Let me elaborate on that. When you do study, I don't know, say, what was one of the ones you just said?
We were going through attributes.
Yeah, when you study an
Yeah.
attribute, each attribute gets a little bit like, I know where to look for this. I know who I can talk to, what websites, even what books in the Bible talk about what. So as you grow in a specific topic, it also helps you grow in the future when you go through having a servant heart later on and things like that. So that is really neat. What was your favorite study in those 3 years you've done?
I don't know if I have a favorite. I mean, we've just been meeting with that group for about a year. I guess the most recent thing I've been thinking about is just prayer. Looking more at different Bible verses about prayer, trying to think through those. Realizing how hard prayer can be when I'm like not feeling it. Because it can be a hard thing to do if I'm like tired or
something we just don't do.
Or just someone. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's probably one of the things. Just thinking through and working through myself. Then more recently.
Okay.
Yeah, and scripture memory. So I go through waves of that. And then Rick and I will quiz each other. So he's very good at scripture memory stuff.
Who knows more?
Oh, he does. Yeah. But I guess that's one thing too. Like you were saying, things pop into your mind. Whenever we're talking about different topics, I'm more likely now having different scripture flowing through my brain and thinking, this relates to maybe this sort of verse. What verse is that exactly? Maybe don't remember, but that's what Google's for then, right?
Yeah.
So
even in the Bible app, you can like paraphrase a passage and it'll pull it up. Probably within the first 2.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, just on that little search button, I don't know. Just the other day, I typed, "In this world, you will have troubles," and then, bam, it pulled up.
There you go. You said the Bible app? I don't know if that was just the specific.
The U version.
Oh, I don't have that one.
What do you use?
I've got the Grace to You. I think MacArthur's. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I have another one too. But
yeah.
Blue Letter Bible's another one a lot of friends use.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There's a lot of good resources. We're very blessed. But you also have to it can also be tricky because you have to discern if those resources are factual.
True. Yeah.
But what's been your favorite verse this past 3 months?
Well, I'm trying to think of the ones I can actually remember. A few of the ones on prayer, like recently I've been going through Ephesians 6:18, which I think is with all prayer and petition, pray at all times in the Spirit, and with this in view, be on the alert with all perseverance and petition for all the saints. Just keeping in mind, with all things, having prayer. I think another one I like is Psalm 66:18, is if I regard wickedness in my heart, the Lord will not hear. And it kind of helps me to check my heart posture too. If like I'm just not thinking well or having sinful thoughts, that's going to, I guess, hamper my ability to reach out then to God then too. Yeah, those are the main two that I'm thinking of
That's good.
right now. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Got to go through my list again.
There you go. Challenge with Rick.
There you go.
What do you got, Zach?
What has God been teaching you lately?
I guess more of the like getting into prayer than yeah. I'd say that's the main one so far. And just usual devotions then too, disciplines of getting into the Word consistently. I feel like my thought life and just life in general is, I don't know, I guess for lack of a better word, just better when I'm in the Word more.
And that is the, I love the answer, but it's also the most churchiest answer ever, but it's so real.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
You can say it's an easy out, but it's not, because we wouldn't keep saying it if everyone just did it. If it was that easy, we wouldn't have to mention it. But it is very easy to be on a roll for months even of reading every day. Say go on vacation, you don't a few days, you get back, you get lazy with it, whatever. You miss a day in the morning because you're running late, you don't do it. Oh, well, I can just do that tomorrow and next day. It can really, what I want to say, like
Spiral.
Yeah, you can get in that habit really easily.
And part of it is, I mean, it's a relationship. And like getting into the Word, like I'm getting to know God better and His will better. And relationships take work.
Yeah.
And I think it's something too where I'm prone to being more perfectionistic and more legalistic per se. So I'd probably get down on myself if I'm not reading the Word and things like that. But turning it, I guess, in my mindset too, from, this is a task that I have to do, like sort of a legality thing. If I do this thing A, then B, this thing will result. And instead of more so that view, thinking, I'm wanting to do this because I'm growing in my relationship with Christ. And I mean, there's still the discipline part. Like that's why they're called disciplines, I guess. But yeah, more so changing my perspective on, instead of it being a task, being a thing that I want to do and pursue and something like that.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me, what you said, it's so simple. It reminded me of, I think Dr. Ratza had a sermon a few weeks ago, and he was talking about, what are the ways to, I think it was, in Mark, combat temptation. And he basically said, getting in the Word, knowing the Word, prayer, and fleeing. And I mean, especially those first two is things we talk about all the time, getting in the Word and prayer. So, and for all things, I guess, in life.
Yeah, and you said your just thoughts and days are better. It's not a coincidence.
Yeah, exactly. And it is one thing, I've just thought about this recently, where even if, like, say I pray, I'm thinking about this for prayer. Say I pray, and I'm thinking, I feel better because I pray. Will I still pray even if I don't feel better? Am I still going to have that communion with God? even when I don't want to.
Yeah.
And just thinking through that and going, I should still, even though I'm not feeling it, even if I might not feel better afterwards.
Yeah, because we're not signing up for a good feeling exchange when we carry out these disciplines. It's, and we said it the past 5 minutes. It's a relationship. You ultimately should want to, but even when you don't want to, it's just how you grow.
There's a passage. Oh, that's big letters.
It's on the side, big letter.
Oh, it is on the side. Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
That is awesome.
So, yeah, it reminds. So in Job, I mean, all the things that happened with Job, he his family, all of his livestock, everything's taken away, and then his physical body is hurt early in Job, the first 2 chapters. But what we were saying kind of made me think of he's talking to his wife who had asked him, "Are you still maintaining your integrity? Curse God and die." And then he replied, "You are talking like a foolish woman. Shall we accept good from God and not trouble?" So both the good and the bad, we're accepting from him, still praying, still getting in the Word. And I think the other one, actually, I think this is more so the one I was thinking of. He says in verse 21, "The Lord gave and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised." So in whatever circumstances, more so that one of like praising God. And then, I mean, from there, I mean, getting into his Word, prayer, everything there then too. So
The most basic things to say.
But the hardest thing to do.
yeah.
We don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
If you're listening, encourage one another. Reach out to someone. Ask them what they're reading. Hold each other accountable in this. We are not meant to, walk with Christ alone. Build one another up. If you don't have a small group, get connected. If you don't have, a godly circle, get connected. Reach out to us. We'll help you. Reach out to the church. Reach out to Reece.
There we go.
I don't know.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, I've got friends, and even meeting with Rick, where we'll check in with each other and be like, hey, how's reading going? How's all this stuff? And it's not a thing of condemnation. It's more of a thing of you wanting to, iron sharpens iron, so one brother sharpens another.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. So
surround yourself with godly people, and not saying you can only hang out with godly people. Yeah. But what you do, you're going to grow in faith when you talk about faith.
Yeah.
You can't just hang out with a Christian but not act like a Christian and expect to grow. So there's that too. But yeah. What do you got, Zach? Zach's drinking milk out of his Yeti, bro.
Oh, you got milk in there?
Heck yeah.
2% whole milk?
Whole milk.
Whole milk.
What do you drink?
I've switched to 1%. But I don't drink milk very often.
What's your thought process in that?
So, I grew up drinking 2%.
Which is the correct one. Yeah.
The correct one. I mean, standard. And then I was drinking whole milk for a while, which tastes better. I'd say that probably tastes the best.
It does. It tastes a little bit better.
No, but...
And then I switched to 1%. Part of it was sort of a weight loss thing. I had gained some weight, especially right after PT school.
That's all you have to do to lose weight is switch to 1.
That's the only thing. Oh, I have a coworker who actually did that because he drinks a lot of milk, and then he switched percentages and also just cut out other diet stuff. Started working out more. Yeah, that's
probably the main thing. But
it was part of it. Yeah. So and I just don't drink milk very often, anyways. So, yeah. But yeah, after PT school, I definitely gained. I'm pretty sure I gained some weight. So, because I was studying for boards, I was just eating like my feelings.
That's kind of hypocritical.
I know, right? Based off what I do. So, yeah, that was actually a tough time. Now that I think about it. So, moving to Columbia City, I didn't know anyone, like riding solo. So I'm moving into this new town, don't know anybody, have a new job, don't have a church, am studying for the hardest and most important test in my life because I still had to pass boards.
Mm-hmm.
So that was rough. That was probably, I'd probably say, the most depressing time of my life, honestly.
How did you get connected here then?
So here, I had looked up, I think online, all the different churches in the area. And then I watched a few sermons online of different churches. I actually stopped by the Methodist church first and went there. And kind of crazy coincidence, the pastor at the time, in 2021, I guess, there used to be the pastor of the Methodist church in Upland at Taylor. And I had gone there for a semester, and I saw him. And then when I came here, I saw him again. I went, wait a second, like, I know you. Wasn't really the best fit for me. So then I came to First Church and then attended a few Sundays and thought, okay, this is more so like what I grew up going to, similar to where I went to in Indy. So not as big. So I went to College Park Church in Indy, which is kind of Carmel area. It's got like 2,000, 3,000, maybe 4,000 people attending. But similar in its way, I guess, how they ran things. So then at that time, I remember Holly would pretty consistently say, hey, if you have any questions, go to the Welcome Center. Go ahead and ask your questions, get connected.
So you went.
So I went. I was like,
nice.
Hey, it was part of it was I was thinking, you know what? This isn't going to be handed to me. I'm this new person in this town who doesn't know anybody. I've got to put myself out there. So I go to the welcome desk. It's scary. I start asking a bunch of like deep-ish questions, and I just get like these wide eyes from whoever's up there. I forget who it was. They're like, I want to introduce you to Brad. So then I met Brad Miller. And then we got lunch at Big G's and chatted.
That day?
No, I think later that week or something.
Okay.
So, yeah, later that week. And then he got me connected to actually Garrett first, Garrett Vandersall.
Shout out
to Garrett Vandersall. And because, I mean, similar occupations.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, and then got connected with young adult group at the time. And that's how it went. So then here we are. So, I mean, I'd say friends and connections I have in Columbia City are from First Church then.
Yeah.
So that was huge. I mean, especially not knowing anyone. It makes me wonder, like, how do people do it without a church community? Like, move to a new town.
Good point.
Really get connected. You have to put yourself out there somehow. I'm just blessed to have First Church. So, and everyone here, so.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious now. That's our first story of, I feel like, I may be wrong, but our first time someone said they got connected by going to the Welcome Center.
Oh, yeah.
I'm curious how many people do that, which is...
That's a good question. Yeah.
That's awesome that it's there
and I think...
taken advantage of. Yeah.
I think of how scary that was for me, already being a Christian too, already growing up in the church and all that sort of stuff. And then maybe how scary that would be for someone who's never then, you know what I mean? Like never been to church at all, just starting to get into it, that sort of thing. So it makes me keep in the back of my mind. I don't do the best job of it, of if I see someone new at church, then like thinking about, ooh, are they connected or do they know anyone? And it's a give and take, because I mean, for me, it's like you still have to put yourself out there, but it's nice to have someone else say, hey, I haven't seen you before. And
yeah. And that's so hard because there could be someone that's been here for 20 years that I've never seen.
Yeah.
And they're like, what do you mean I'm here every week?
You go, hey, yeah.
Well,
nice to meet you.
You don't know me, so I'm Josh. I don't know. But that would be something cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Challenge. Have Rick challenge you on it.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. But it definitely is harder to get connected into a small community too, because like most people have their sort of groups and stuff too. So that's why it was a blessing. There was a young adult group forming at the time, so I was able to just.
And there was a lot of people in your age range that were in that same kind of boat.
Yeah. We were all just kind of forming it right then. So it's, perfect timing.
Yeah.
So
that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
if you could have one listener on this podcast, who would it be?
One listener?
Like come.
Oh,
be
to come
up-
in
To
and-
come
oh.
be.
I was thinking about this earlier, even when we were chatting. I was thinking, I don't know who else I'd shout out. Well, I mean, now that he has been shouted out a few times,
Here,
might
Jer-
have to say Rick then. If
Oh.
I don't know if he'd be up for that, but
I don't
Rick,
know.
you're next.
Maybe not.
no guarantees there actually.
Can't guarantee that.
But I just know he's had a few shout outs. So.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Uh,
Yeah,
other-
Jeff shouted him out.
Jeff
Earlier,
did.
yeah.
I guess I did.
Pretty sure
Um,
Dave did.
We
Garrett
could
probably
get Zach
did.
and Kate on here.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just hit us up, Rick and Zach. Rick probably won't.
Yeah. That's probably true.
Okay. And this is the time that you know is coming.
Do you have any questions
Oh,
for us?
shoot.
Ooh.
Cut off.
Ooh. So, how long have you been coming to Planet Fitness, Zach?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. All right.
Yeah.
Who do you come with?
Drew, and then I've been going with my sister a lot.
Oh, okay. Nice. Nice. What do you think? What do you think of Planet Fitness?
Dude, this dude's a freaking salesman.
Do you like secretly work for Planet Fitness or
No, I basically get on the treadmill and then get on the bike, and that's
He
pretty much
wants
all I do.
people to get hurt at Planet Fitness so they go see him.
No, that's not
I
true.
think it's a very good beginner gym, but I've worked out a lot in the past, and so don't get me wrong, it's a great place. I enjoy it, but I prefer a lot more free weights. I'll just put it like that.
they barely have any.
Exactly.
Yeah, they don't have any free barbells or heavier kettlebells than 30 pounds. So.
It's still a great place.
That's why
though.
I don't go there, because I would need, like,
Yeah, he'd maxed out every machine he
yeah, it
went to.
Yeah,
just
that's
wouldn't do
true.
me any good. You
Yeah,
know?
you're
I
already
can't
at the
bench
peak.
500 on the, Smith machine.
I just start lifting the Smith machine.
And you had said you got a new job then, right?
Yeah.
I forget if we
so-
had talked about that before, but
So I now work for Do It Best.
oh, that's right. Yep.
Yep. Reach out for all your hardware needs and home center needs, or lumber. But I don't do any of the sales there. I work with salespeople and marketing. And now my region is Indiana, Michigan, Ohio. So I'm blessed to have that right in my corner.
I like
But
it.
yeah,
Because then when do you graduate
May.
again? May. Yeah, so that's coming up.
Yep. So they are a very good company that let me hop on before I graduate, and they're flexible with my one in-person class, and yeah, I just make up hours. It's typically just through lunch the rest of the week. And yeah, it is very, how do I want to say this? I haven't had a lot of professional experience. Granted, I'm only 20. But talking with other more experienced people there is such a blessing to have that culture and that environment at a young age, where I can be surrounded by people who genuinely care about me, want to work with me, teach me. And yeah, it's not a faith-based company, but there's a lot of people there that bring the faith into it.
Gotcha.
So that's neat.
Nice.
Yeah.
Having good coworkers and people willing to mentor you is, I just say, just huge. And I've experienced that with my job too, of being able to ask questions about different patients or about different things
Yeah.
of what's going on. So I assume the same then for you then.
Yeah, I have
Like
really
to-
good coworkers that have really taught me a lot about the industry and everything.
Yeah, I was really fortunate. A guy started there the week after me, who's also a younger guy. So we kind of had the same trainings and paths into that, and now we eat lunch together and just Not every day, because sometimes you have to work.
Yeah.
But that's been really good to have, like, a closer, a little bit older guy to work with. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Nice. Good.
But seriously, shout out Do It Best if you need lumber, if you need patio furniture, if you need electrical equipment, plumbing.
I'm about to
Go to your local Do It Best.
I'm about to mute you.
If you don't know where it is, call me. I'll help you. Support local.
There we go. I like it.
Hmm. I guess technically their Ace would be local here, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ace doesn't.
Yeah, there isn't a Do It
Ace
Best.
doesn't do it best, you know.
Ooh. Is that the opposite of a shout out? Is that a
Those hate, but without hate.
I genuinely appreciate the Ace in town. Very helpful
same?
people.
Actually, went there a lot when I got my house.
That's fine. That's fine. But you're going to like an Ace, not a local family business. But it's okay.
It's local. I mean,
Yeah.
a Tegmeyer or Ace. I think.
All right.
Anyway.
We don't need to talk about this. I started it though.
Yeah.
Can I ask my question now?
Yeah.
Reese, what's your dream vacation?
Dream vacation. I'd say I was thinking about this a little bit. Trip to Alaska.
By yourself?
I'd like to teleport whoever
You want
I
at the
want to
moment?
at the moment.
And
So-
they can leave. You can teleport
and then
them
teleport them back. Yep. So I teleport in my family, teleport them out, teleport in my girlfriend, teleport her out, teleport in friends. Yep. So
out. Rick?
Rick, there we go.
Rick's going to be there.
No, he's just there. He comes
He's
on
just-
his own. He's there the whole time.
He's just in the, 10 feet away from you.
He just randomly shows up in the middle of the trip.
He's just
Oh,
there
man.
when you get there.
There we go. Yep. He would be.
And he has everything set up already. What
Yeah,
What are you
nice.
doing in Alaska? Are you doing like a wilderness excursion, or are you living in the city?
So more so the wilderness excursion. And I chose Alaska because there's just a lot of things in Alaska.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the different little islands. You have
Northern
the different-
Lights.
Northern Lights. You've got fjords. I didn't know there were fjords in Alaska.
I
Um,
didn't know
what's a
fjord was a thing.
I think it's when per se like a mountain,
How do you spell
the
it?
side of a mountain goes into a sea or water or something.
I guarantee I get roasted for not knowing what this is. I should have let Zach ask. It's just a mountain, bro. It's just a mountain by a lake.
There we go, by a lake. They're cool.
Anyways, how long are you going there?
As long as it takes to go through, even just where it's really snowy up north.
Are you bear hunting?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Fishing?
Bear, elk, fish. There you go. Just do a little bit of everything.
You have
Swim in the lakes.
A lot of German meat to bring back.
Actually, yes. That's the weird connection. I went up there in 2019.
Really?
With one of my best friends, yeah. And his family owns a German meat market up in Alaska. So there's that connection.
Is he German?
Technically, yeah.
Okay.
Or I mean, descendant.
Yeah.
A few generations removed. But yeah, so go up there.
This is just your thing.
It's I don't know why it's just the fun fact that
You should
we'll
you
use.
should open one here.
Open Germany. That's not happening.
That's okay.
Unless
Well-
we go back to this podcast in 20 years and then we're like, oh yeah, there's that German meat market now.
Do you have any closing thoughts before we wrap up?
No, I just really appreciate what you two are doing and reaching out to us at First Church and the community, reaching out a little bit more into the community, just getting to know each of us and that we can get to know you too. I think it's really, really good, really healthy. Whenever I tell others about this podcast of just a basics, hey, we're interviewing people in the church and in the community, they always say, oh, that's a really good idea. Like that's healthy, good way to get to know
And
people.
it's not to discredit you by any means, but you're not a pastor or like the mayor or big social media following in the community. Like, we just want to get to know
Everybody.
20 to 30-year-old, wherever you are in there, Reece. And I think that's a wonderful thing to do. You don't have to be a staff member at a church. You don't have to be Ryan Daniel. You don't have to be a German meat market owner. we want to get to know our community and grow that, because we don't know everyone. But this is a cool way to kind of share some stories and common interests, and maybe someone that's been to Alaska will reach out to you now or something. I don't know.
For sure. Yeah.
Just someone that enjoys hunting or fishing or whatever. We think this is a good way to get to know one another without getting to know one another. But thank you for your kind words and support, and everyone else, thank you. It's been a learning experience doing this for sure, and I feel like we have grown a lot in quality conversation, questions, but if you do have suggestions, comments, or even just questions for us, please let us know. Never feel afraid to reach out. This is what we're here for. But yeah, we're back in 2024. We're gonna get some guests lined up. We're gonna have podcasts. I'm not gonna say every week because I don't know if we will every week. But we will have many more podcasts this 2024, and we look forward to I guess talking to you all. With that being said, what do we even say for this ending?
This has been another episode of the Outreach Project.
When will we see them next? We'll see you next week.
We'll see you when we see you.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.